Mic test. Am I live on YouTube? Let me watch your own video, make sure everything's fine. Okay, so hello everybody. I had to get through this very quick today. I mean, there isn't too much I'll be talking about in this stream anyway. It will just be the build guide for Lancelot of the Lake, as well as just some suggestions for the collaboration event. And of course, if you're watching this in the future, just know everything I talked about will be timestamped down in the description and in the comments. So let me watch your own video, make sure everything is going fine, and then I'll try to finish this within 30 minutes because I need to get to work in the morning very soon. So let's try to get through this quickly. So okay, so I wouldn't be going into news today. For those who might want to know about the news for Iron Saga, just go to my community post, and all the latest news I'll be posting it there. And today I will just go speed run through the entire what we have now before anything starts. So all right. Okay, so no one's here at the moment. That's fine, because again, everything I talked about will be timestamped in the comments and in the description. And so for now, so for the collab, the TLDR guide of the collab is to just or I guess what is worth it, I guess. So starting, okay, so hold on, I'm still recording as well. So starting for the pilots, right? All the pilots are not bad. The free pilot is herself. Oh Jesus Christ, where's give me 1 second. Let me cough real quick. Alright, sorry. So, okay, so starting from the pilots, the free pilots that we get for her, she is pretty OP. Or she's Jesus Christ, my brain's not working. But yeah, she is pretty good for a free pilot. She have pretty good tech skill, so even if you're a top player, some of her skill might be usable in Apex Arena, because just a good corporate skill that is better than a lot of older units that we have. And in Apex there's 12 units, so there are times where these might come in handy. And for new players, she can even be a main pilot as well, which is gonna be pretty awesome. So definitely try to get this definitely trying to get her as a pilot. And of course we do also get 1 copy for quote-unquote free of Lancelot of the Lake if you were to from the events. Also, hold on, let me lower the volume real quick. So yeah, so the free pilot, definitely definitely a very good free-to-play pilot. And even if you're a top player, she can still be a very good co-pilot in Apex Arena. And of course, the free copy of Lancelot, and among other stuff as well. And now for the other 2 pilot, now Ian only have 2 pilots at the moment. The 3rd pilot will be coming in on the wave 2 of the collab. And so for now, I'm going to go to the 2nd pilot that we have today, which is Tracy. Now Tracy is also a very good co-pilot skill. I'm not sure if I've seen much of her being used in top player or in top PvP, even on Lancelot of the Lake. So she is not like, if you're a free to play, then I wouldn't worry about this pilot. But what's it called? If you were to get her, she'll be very, very good, because again, just like the free to play pilot, she have 3 very, very strong corporate skill that can be used in PvP. So yeah, so I mean, some of her skills are like replaceable, but in my opinion, if you're a top player, I definitely think you should at least try to get her, because yeah, her special especially are pretty good in PvP, especially at the moment. So but otherwise, if you're a free to play, or if you're not a top player, if you're someone who might not have a lot of gem left, then I wouldn't say she is someone that you want to I guess use a bar for it, or I guess trying to go hard on the bar for, because again, she is not a necessity. It's just that having her will be a very, very good corporate skill in PvP. And what else? Okay, so that's the pilot. And now for the 3rd pilot, now she will be coming in on the wave 2 of this collab. And she's a very strong top PvE support pilot. If not nearly a necessity for top PvE. But again, that's for top PvE. If you're not a top PvE player, then I wouldn't say, you know, she is not necessary. So I mean, her co-pilot skill is good. Like the co-pilot skill is definitely usable in both PvP and PvE. But again, if you were to get her, I think she'll be pretty useful. But she's only a necessity if you're into top PvE. So yeah, that's basically the TLDR for this pilot. So I definitely think that the other two pilot, you know, the other two pilot, aside from the free pilot, definitely isn't a pilot that you should get if you are free to play. But if you're not free to play, or if you're a top player and have some resources to spend, then I think these two pilots are very, very good to get, even just for the co-pilot skills, you know, in case if you were to need them in PvP or, you know, in Apex or something like that. So that should be it about the pilots. And of course, maybe I'll go into details on these pilots on wave 2, when wave 2 comes, and hopefully I can give you guys a better you know, understanding of the pilots. But overall, just know that, you know, all 3 of these pilots are good, and you know, definitely get a free to play one, and the other 2 are very good in high level, but they are not a necessity. It's just they are only a necessity at the very, very top level, or you know, if you want to be competitive. So yeah, oh, another thing, right? If you're free to play and you think that, oh, I should definitely get, you know, something like this, or I should definitely get like a top, you know, like a top PvE play or a top PvE pilot like this, I wouldn't say so, because without you having already like a top PvE team or top PvP team, then it might not matter that much unless you're getting them as a main pilot. Because like, let's say if you're just starting the game and then you can get these 2 as a main pilot because you might not have enough for Awakens, then maybe I can see that being usable, and maybe, you know, down the line you will be able to use them as a co-pilot once you get, you know, enough for Awakens. So maybe that can be something that is good. But again, if you're low on resources, if you're free to play especially, then I wouldn't say, you know, I would definitely just save for something else in the future, that may be more, you know, better for free to plays. So yeah, so that should be it about pilot. Now let's get into Lancelot of the Lake. Also, let me cough again. Also, welcome Evie, welcome. Okay, so that is the pilot done. Now let's go into the Lancelot of the Lake. Now, Lancelot of the Lake is I would say it's kind of similar to what's it called? Guts, the Hound of Sigma, in terms of like, I guess the like how it works ish, kind of. So Lancelot, like, you get 1 for free in the collab event that you can farm for, and you should definitely get it because, you know, Lancelot of the Lake is a pretty good unit. Maybe not in PvE, or maybe not in top PvE, but if you are a new player, again, if you're a new player, you can definitely use this, you know, use a free copy of this unit and, you know, get very far in story and such. And of course, if you are top players and getting it to 7-star, now it's better that you get him to 8-star for the HP, but it's fine if you don't. So 7-star, you know, so or I guess at least get a 7-star if you want to get it, which will only mean you only need to get 2 copies, because again, 1 is redeemable in the shop. So if you were to get 2 copies, then you will have a 7-star Lancelot of the Lake, and Lancelot of the Lake will be pretty good. What's it called? A pretty good PvP unit until, you know, in the future. Now, of course, we don't know how much, like, how well this will perform, especially when Ian have a different meta at this point with, you know, with M-Hero Spark, you know, being released early. So because of that, we don't know how much, you know, how well Lancelot of the Lake will be like. But Lancelot of the Lake were also used, you know, back when M-Hero Spark is, you know, it's in the meta as well. So I would say it's probably gonna be just I would say it's probably the same. It's just that, you know, there's an M-Hero Spark over there that might be taking some of the spotlight from, you know, from Lancelot of the Lake. So how does Lancelot of the Lake work? Now, TLDR is just, it is a tank, and just like Hound of Sigma, you want to get hit. If you get hit, you will not only tank for your team, it will also debuff all the enemies, and while also doing massive damage to the enemy as well. So, and that's usually how Lancelot of the Lake do damage, is by tanking and just sitting there, and then his chassis will just do the damage work for Lancelot of the Lake. and because honestly a lot of his action and stuff are kind of trash. But because his chassis are, you know, pretty broken, that's kind of like, you know, that kind of I guess help it out a lot. So what else? So it is a very good PvP, like very good free to play or like a new player PvP unit, because in PvP again all you really need to do is to sit there, get hit, and you're fine. So it's kind of like Hound of Sigma, but the difference is that Hound of Sigma does like both damage and like does more utility on that. But in top PvP, Lancelot of the Lake, the CC that can do like the debuff, or I guess the reduction of all of the enemies' action, could be a lot better in top PvP compared to, you know, Hound of Sigma. You know, especially when we have a lot of those, you know, home and such running around as well. So yeah, so that's pretty good. But again, I mean, if you are here at this point, I guess if you're a new player and you didn't roll Hound of Sigma, then I definitely think, you know, rolling Lancelot of the Lake will be better than Hound of Sigma. But yeah, so just like if you're a new player at this point, but if you rolled Hound of Sigma, then it's still fine. You know, it's still fine. But overall, I guess let's get into each of the things. So it will absorb, I guess 40% of the. Hold on, let me see if I can go into yeah, the Chinese, because yeah, so it'll absorb 40% of the final damage taken, and when he has a shield that he will, you know, activate every 5 seconds when he get attacked, for every 2,000 damage that it took, it will extend, or I guess it will, you know, like reduce 1 second of the cooldown on the enemy's units, and there's no cooldown on that. So if, you know, if Lancelot of the Lake is taking a lot of damage, then it can potentially debuff the entire of the enemy teams by a lot, which can be very, very strong just by him getting hit, you know, by doing nothing essentially. Yeah, right, because that's one of the reasons why it is very good for free to play as well, because you don't really need to care about this unit that much when on the battlefield, because again, all he need to do is just AFK there, get hit, and you're done. So, and then once the store damage is over 20% of its max HP, it will use all of the energy and go into 10 seconds of basically super mode. Now what's it called? Its action are kind of trash. So sure, it go into super mode. Like the only thing that really matters are when it go into super mode, it will do like an AOE burst that does a lot of damage, and it will use his, you know, strongest X ult. Now that is the only kind of good things about it, because like after that point, because of his garbage actions, it is not going to basically, like, it will be stopped immediately by something like a Hongwu, you know, by it hitting a Hongwu or something, you know, right, you know, dead on his track. But because I guess they can start triggering this a lot just by sitting there, then I think it should be fine. And of course, you know, you can remedy this by using certain builds that can help you, you know, anti 4CCs. So again, it's just carried by his chassis. But if you do get the actions off onto the enemies, then, you know, the main attack will have a 20% chance to do 200% damage, which is, you know, pretty good damage. And of course, you know, during the duration, it will also heal 4% of its taken HP, which is actually pretty good. If you're, you know, the lower the HP that you have, the better. It's kind of like the comeback mechanic of Hound of Sigma, but like probably a little bit better against, again, in top PvP arena. So and of course, every 5 seconds, you know, when it gets attacked, it will open a shield that can absorb up to 15% of its max HP, which again, you know, that's why HP is actually kind of important, because, you know, you can absorb, you know, or like basically there are HP scalings on, and, you know, on the skills. Now because this is the HP, or because this is the HP skill, HP shield, which is like a term, I guess starting from, or not like an official term, but like the player term starting from Fafnir, where, you know, you get a shield based on your HP, and for some reason, though, that HP is can be counted towards skills. So for example, you know, the skills that it takes, you know, for the enemy, or So you know the 2,000 points of damage that that it takes, that will reduce the enemy's cooldown. You know, enemy hitting on this shield can actually activate this effect. So basically, you know, things that will trigger based on how much damage you took, if it hits the shield, then it will still trigger that effect, which is pretty good because, you know, you can stack the shield by a lot. So that's pretty so it can be pretty OP. But again, in a 4v4 arena, you know, in a 4v4 arena, it's gonna be a little bit like the shield is gonna pop, you know, every, you know, like within seconds. So yeah. But the fact that it can stack, it can, you know, potentially be very, very strong, you know, especially if you are in the advantage. If you can get some of these, you know, shields up to be stacked, and, you know, your Lancelot leg will just be very, very hard to kill at that point. So especially, you know, with certain builds as well. Also, give me a second. Alright, so now on to the second chassis, So 40%, you know, final damage value increase. Now this is another things where yeah, it is not, unlike Hero Sigma, it will not be that good in oh, Evie, welcome, yeah, thank you, yeah, I saw. So that's the reason why it will not be as strong in PvE as DPS, mainly because, you know, or compared to Hero Sigma, because it doesn't really have any HP scaling and such. It's just a flat 40%, you know, final damage value increase. So, you know, nothing too special at this point. But it is able to remove enemies' HP. So in PvP department, it will be slightly better because, you know, HP removal are usually better in PvE. Are better in PvP for sure. So, but again, the problem is that every 10 attack. Now, I mean, I guess it can, depending on the build, or like, you know, especially whenever it get into the, you know, the hyper mode, you can probably do that. But for it to actually do this in like PvP without relying on chassis is very, very hard, because again, its chassis is actually kind of garbage, or not garbage, but like, you know, is nothing too special in today's day and age. So don't expect this to happen by itself in top PvP. I mean, it can, especially if you're winning, but in most cases, in like a neutral battle standpoint, it is very hard to do that, especially into this meta where there's so much CC going on in the game. But again, I'll get into the how to remedy those, you know, in the builds that I'll show you. And of course, you know, as just like most HP removals they are not lethal. And then, you know, yeah, when we're going to super mode, it will, you know, burst, that will do AoE burst, and it will also use the strongest moveset, and after that, you know, it will gain 30% speed increase. So that's the biggest part, like, or like that's where the damage will came from, is the burst from the you know, from the hyper mode, from going into the hyper mode, as well as, you know, using the strongest action. But again, because you use the strongest action, you're gonna have to use pilots that have some sort of you know, built-in anti force CCs, because without that, the moment it does that, it's gonna get knocked down. So yeah, there's a reason why. Oh, actually, yeah. I mean, I guess for new players, it'll be easy unit because, you know, again, this is another AFK unit that can just, you know, put it in. But in top player, or in top PvP, or just in high ranking PvP in general, he is kind of limited to certain pilots because again, without certain pilots, it would be a bit harder to move in PvP, or to just, you know, do stuff in PvP, you know, compared to some other units that we have at the moment. Welcome. Yeah, welcome the boy, welcome. So otherwise, its action, nothing too special. It does have a lot of different weapons though. You know, it got long handle, it got shield, it got fist, it got sword, it got just, you know, long handle, pretty much everything, which is pretty good because, you know, you can have a variety of builds in it. And usually having a lot more different type of weapon is because, you know, you doing actually, it might switch hands, which it actually does have some, you know, hand switching move in its action. But again, it's nothing nothing too special, because again, its chassis, its action are just kind of, yeah, not great into this meta. But anyway, let's get into the build and let's see how to remedy, you know, some of his weaknesses. So by itself, right? By itself, it can already not care. Like, you can already put it in a team and put in whatever pilots, and it can already just AFK there and start doing the damage. But if you want to at least take advantage of its forced XO usage from its chassis, then you should probably be using pilots such as her, or you want to use another one that can do that, which is the Black Knight, which is which is his Awaken as well. Both of these pilots at the now I don't know when we will get him, like his Awaken in Ian, but for now Ian does have her, which I think she is a little bit better pilot for Lancelot Lake compared to Knight, where you probably want to use him on another unit, like for example like RG or something like that. So now the reason why I'm using her is because she have built-in what's it called anti-force CCs when using actions. So and the fact that Lancelot of Lake, its goal is to take hit, it will kind of just build up her second skill quite easily, I would say, in PvP. So and by the time it activates its super mode, it probably have enough layers to activate the anti-force CCs. So basically, during the time where it uses the XO, that will be the time where that action will probably be covered in anti-force CCs, so you won't just get knocked down the moment you hit a Hongwu or something, or like cheating or something. So that's the reason why I'm using with her, and of course her skill can also be very, very helpful as well for the team. Yeah, so that's the reason why I am using her on it. Of course, you can use some other pilots on it as well. Just as long as you're using a tanky pilot, like for example Inchi or something, then you should be fine. But I'm using her because I can take advantage of the anti-force CCs for when Lancelot like would use his XO during the chassis super mode. So, and yeah. Oh, just don't put support pilots in it because although it want to take hits, right? Although it can be tanky, it is not that tanky. You still need a defensive pilot like her in order to do something, or to use it at maximum power essentially. So yeah, okay. So now for the builds, these three are the staples on just most tank at this point. There are some debate for the armor, but I'm playing it safe, so I'm putting it safe by putting firm steel. But if you want to try something else, like if you want to try going for more HP, that's up to you. But I'm playing it safe by using firm steel. So, but these two are usually the staples in most today's meta. So, but of course, if you don't have some of these, just use the best one that you can have. Like for example, just use the one that can give you the most amount of HP. And this one, just use the one that also give you the most amount of HP or something like that. Because HP does matter, for this unit as well. So, and now for the core. Now, it recommend us using this core, the master whatever core that can increase the damage whenever it changes like weapons in hand. It is good. It can do a lot of damage, but the thing is, again, you need to start being able to do damage first, which is not the job of Lancelot of the Lake, especially when you have Radiance or some other units that can be doing the DPS job, because DPS job are usually done by someone else, and the DPS that it will be done by Lancelot of the Lake are in the chassis by getting hit. Like, it does damage by getting hit. I don't think this is the best one, at least, or maybe now because the meta is not that crazy yet. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is already pretty crazy with M Hero Spark in the mix, but at least maybe now that can start be doing some DPS, but at a certain point, I think using this core will be a lot better, because again, your goal is the goal for Lancelot Lake is to get hit. It getting hit will do a lot more damage than it going out of their way to do the damage. So I think using this core will be a much safer bet, overall. And again, same thing apply on the bullets. Your goal is not to do damage at this point, right? Your goal is to tank. And Lancelot Lake doesn't really need, I guess, sustainability, especially with the chassis already. So you might not even need claws. Of course, you can go to DPS by by using something like this. But let's say if you're top player and you probably you probably already have a better DPS in the team, then I definitely think using something like this might be a better CC onto the enemies. And the reason why I'm not using this one is because when you get knocked, when you knock someone down, especially in top PvP, or in in high level PvP, some people might have Gaia and can trigger a lot more Gaia at this point. And of course, if you were to knock down Hong or something like that, then Hong will just get back up and knock you down instead. So that's why I'm not using, the long handle thing. That's why I'm using this one, because this one reduces action, enemies cooldown. But again, if you want to go DPS, you can go this one. But if you're going for DPS, then you might as well go full DPS, right? So if you want to go DPS, then you might as well go full DPS. But again, playing it safe and playing it, to its role of just getting hit to do the damage, then I think this is what I will go with to be more future proof, I should say. I mean, maybe now it might be it might be fine using something like using a DPS build, but for just for future proofing, this is what I'll be using for now. And now we can get through these. Again, there are some other builds that can go for HP, but I am not going to show something that might be risky. That will be up for you to decide on what to do. I'm just showing you guys what the top player has been using back in NC. So, and now for the pets. They recommend a snake, which is a pretty good choice because again, snake can prevent you from getting destroyed too fast, which I wouldn't think you would be, especially when you have her on and plus the chances of this unit. So I don't really think that will happen. Your some other unit might die much faster, like even your Feng Kuang might die much faster than this unit does. But snake is definitely a usable one. But if you don't have a snake, or if your snake is on someone else, nothing's stopping you from using some other top higher PvP units such as this teleport rabbit thing here. You can even use Scorpion here, but again, Scorpion is more onto DPS. I mean, I guess also on CC side as well, but it is a usable option. Or if you want to, you can also use Pisces. Now, I am not sure if the Pisces shield can stack along with the shield, or is it not stacked? But I don't know how it is calculated. Like, does it use up the shield that it does that give first and then use the Pisces shield? I don't know how that exactly work, or do they both go down by at the same time? I don't even know if the shield can also trigger the HP skill, just like or similar to its HP skill. From what I've seen on NC, they say they're similar, but I don't think they're but I'm not sure if they're the same thing. So if this is not working for you, then I think you definitely try something else, because I don't know their interactions. So, but for now, I think using the snake will be a better option if you have it. But if you don't have it, then just your standard other PvP pets will definitely work as well. The Scorpion, the Pisces, the Rabbit, whatever, right? Whatever. You can even use it to carry this unit as well if you want to. That pet as well. And now for the co-pilot skill. Now the co-pilot skill, if you wanted to, use his chassis even more, just pick the one, or I guess the easiest way is to pick the one that give you the highest amount of final damage reduction, which for a lot of people will probably be her, because her defense does give can give up to 21% final damage reduction, which can be very, very helpful for its chassis. Because for some reason, like when okay, so there's some complication on the calculation of the thing where like the shield calculates the stats increase, but the damage that it would have taken without the shield doesn't isn't affected by like final defense and such. There's some complication there that can make, or I'm not sure if that was fixed or not, but there's some complication there that can help out the shield, I guess, or help out its chassis a lot. Now I don't know, again, I don't want to claim that I know the exact reason why on that, but going for the highest amount of final damage reduction will never go wrong. So that will be the easiest way to do that. But of course, if you were to get the pilot of her, which is Lancelot's cannon pilot, her special and her, honestly, all three of her skill will work pretty well on Lancelot the Lake. But I think I'll be using her control, because her control can help out the team by whenever enemy or whenever allies go under 50% HP, that's how the Lake will track all, or I guess will aggro all of the enemies, which again it's kind of good for Lancelot Lake, because Lancelot Lake won't get hit, and it will also create like a shield that can absorb damage for the allies as well, which is pretty good. So actually, wait, hold on. Okay, I don't know if it give to the ally or give it to Cell, but either way, either way it is fine. Yeah, either way it is fine. But the fact that you can take aggro can already be pretty good on PvP. But of course, it will depending on when the meta is. If you're doing it now, then your Lancelot of the Lake might just die from the amount of HP removal and such. But at least for now, I definitely think this can be very, very helpful. It's just sad that she doesn't have special to use her special. But if you were to use someone else, then that special, then I think using her special might make her even more tanky. But if you want to, you can even use her defense that can that increase both HP and also give the team some I guess buffs. So but I think the best to take advantage of the Dance of the Lake, I think definitely her special and her control might be the better option, whichever slots that you have for the pilots. Now let's say, okay, so for example, right, if you were to use Knight, right, then you probably want to use her special, then something like this will definitely work as well, the same build and such. And again, Knight can help Dance of the Lake give some anti-force CCs. So, but yeah, so this should be it. This should be the build for Lancelot of the Lake. This is what top PvP player does use, back in NC from what I saw, and I'm just providing some explanation of it, and of course how I use them as well, because most of the builds are just not as a copy and paste, but most of my builds are inspired by top PvP NC players. If not straight up copy most of the time. But anyway, this is the build for future proofing, just for overall future proofing, and for future meta and such, just for it to be a sandbag that can fight back, essentially, that can damage back. But for now, if you want to go for DPS, you can probably go for something like this that can definitely work as well. And of course, Surge of God is not here yet, but I'll definitely be talking about Surge of God when he come to when he come to EN. So for now, I think that's everything. So the TLDR is to just make sure to get the free-to-play pilot. Yeah, make sure to get the free pilots from the event. So make sure to get the free pilot from the event. Make sure to get the free copy of Lancelot of the Lake from the event. The other two pilots, they are good in top PvP and top PvE. One is good in top PvP and one is good in top PvE. But if you're free to play, you don't need to worry about it that much, or I guess you don't need to invest. You don't need to invest the resources in right now, because you might get something better, or something that can or something that is replaceable in the future until the collab rerun again. And of course, if you're a player that is not top player but you still want to get a pilot, if you were to get a pilot, then they will be pretty useful in pretty much most of the modes that you'll be using them in. So but yeah, and Surge of God, don't worry about that unit. If you want to roll anything in this collab, just roll Lancelot of the Lake. 7-star is good enough, but if you can go for 8, that would be nice as well for the HP. Surge of God is not worth it. After 5 buff, Surge of God is still not viable. So I want to cut this video short. It's already nearly 35 minutes. Again, if you guys have any more questions, or guess feel free to comment down any questions down below, or you can just ask me it directly in our in our Discord, and just tag me. I should be able to answer them soon. So all right. I'll just wait until 36 seconds or 36 minutes, and I'll just call it. speedrun. I hope. Okay, I hope I'm correct. I hope I am understandable because I think I was pretty. Because I think I was talking pretty fast. So yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Well, it's about to be 36 seconds, so probably gonna. Where's my mouse? Yeah, is there anything I might have forgot? Is there anything I might have forgot? I think so. Yeah, I don't think I forgot about anything. Maybe I can roll for this thing. I don't know. Yeah. Alright. Okay, we are at 36. All right, I like this number. So, alright, see you all guys next time. Goodbye, goodbye.